Okay, y'all. So, with this whole ice cream situation that's going on, I want you all to have conversations with your children. I want you all to really understand, you know, for those of you all who are praising what's happening and that these kids are being affected because Jocelyn Carranza was only 11 years old before she decided to unalive herself because the children in her classroom were bullying her, saying that her parents were going to be taken by these people and that she was going to be left home alone. And watching her mother, do these interviews. Her mother's a single mom. She is a house cleaner. She's got other young children. Jocelyn was a French horn player. She spent Friday nights with her family, watching movies and doing cartwheels and things of that nature. I have children, and I have children around her age. I cannot imagine what that baby went through. And the fact of the matter is, the school never told her mother what was going on. And see, this is the problem that I have, as a former district worker, because I've dealt with bullying with my students. I've gotten written up because of how I handled it, because not on my watch would I ever. And I had a situation where two children, who never gave me any problems, got off the bus one morning and they were late. And they, as soon as they got into my classroom, they broke down and they cried. And I was like, babies, what's wrong? What happened? And they proceeded to tell me what happened. And I guess they got ahead of, the administrator that was supposed to be walking them to class to kind of maneuver this conversation. And this is what I'm going to tell parents too. You all need to have conversations with your kids. For people who really know me, know what happened with my children in public school and what I had to go through. And the fact of these people, will do things to your children. And these are supposed to be the people that protect your children. Now, mind you, these people will never have a peaceful day anytime they see me in the streets. However, I understand that everybody is not like me. I understand that a lot of people don't deal with things the way that I deal with things. But I want you to do this, and there's plenty of lawyers that will attest to this. You need to have the conversation with your children that if they are ever questioned by an administrator or anything or pulled to the side, you need to tell your children that you need to be called. And that's all that needs to be said. And if they continue to say, oh, it's just a conversation, it's just this, it's just that, you don't talk, nothing. We don't have any conversations. You put your head down. Now, for me, thank God Verizon at the time had those little those kids watches that doubled as phones. So anytime, like y'all, they were literally pulling my son out of class and putting him in a separate room, trying to pressure him to tell a story a different way, even though they had what happened on camera. They were trying to make it seem like it was his fault. um and every time he would press that button a couple times, and I would pop up at that school. Why is my kid out of school? Why out of class? And he would tell them, you need to call my mom. And they're like, oh, we're just trying to have a conversation. And he was like, okay, well, I'm about to go to sleep because she already told me. And he would put his head down. Like, I busted their asses so hard about ruining his instruction time, because children are supposed to have a certain amount of instruction hours while they're at school. But here's what I'm saying here. This young child went through counseling and her mother had no idea what was going on. No phone calls were told to her mom about the bullying that was going on. No phone calls were told to her about the counseling that she was receiving. None of this. I don't know how long it's going to be before we do something to the parents of these bullies. Because again, I have no problems knocking on somebody's door. I get it from my mama, okay? Trust me when I say that's a story for another day, but I get it from my mama. Baby, I will fold you up with your clothes still on. We step behind them kids. The fact of the matter is, they're getting this shit from home. Talk to your children about bullying and the effects of this, because this young baby took her life. And now her parents and her siblings are, going to go through these Friday nights upset and hurt, because that smiling face is not going to be there. That, that loving face is not going to be there, and they can't get that back. So if this reaches the little people that were in that girl's classroom, may y'all never have peace again until you own up to what your children did.